Hello, how's everybody tonight?
Hey, y'all.
We're in Michigan, not Wisconsin, but my son-in-law bought me this shirt, so I occasionally wear it. It's comfortable. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. I was very surprised when I looked on YouTube today. I have not been online for 2 or 3 days, other than just we putting up some shorts on our other channel, and I've been editing video for the last three nights. But I was very surprised to see a whole bunch of people talking about Chris McDonald and how his YouTube channel had been terminated. So I went over and watched 2 or 3 of them, and then I actually listened to him talk on another channel about it, and I'm a little confused on how it all happened, but I kind of think it might have originated with a one of on Twitter to begin with a guy that was on Twitter that he thought was Brian Laundrie. I don't know. As far as I know, as much as I know about it is about what you could fit in a thimble. I don't know much about it. So, with me not knowing much about it, I'm not going to talk about it. Other than to say that he said that he was flagged by a bunch of people and YouTube terminated his channel because it violated policy. And I'm going to tell you, when you put a video up here on this channel, and like this channel we have here is monetized, but they don't pay a whole lot for a 5,000 person channel. I think last month we made $156. I think that's what I told
And it was
you.
153.
153, and I mean it's still $153. It's more than it's better than nothing. But it's not like. But his size channel was probably making, uh, I would guess, between $5,000 and $8,000 a month just from what they run ads. If you got 77,000 people, I think that's where I read.
Casey.
So you can make. I mean, you have to have a huge audience for you to make a lot of money. But what they do is sometimes we'll put just the title of our video or some tags I have, or maybe something that I talked about. YouTube doesn't like it. The algorithm doesn't like it. So they demonetize that one video. You can still make money off of it, but it has to go from premium people, from the premium channels, because they don't have commercials. But it's not easy to make any money on YouTube, and so apparently his channel was terminated, demonetized, whatever. And man, that's I hate that for him, because that's a lot of income lost and a lot of support. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do, if he's going to do another channel, or I don't know. I kind of think it's hard to have one channel and get it terminated and then start another one. I don't even know that you could do that, but um, I don't know anything about it or what happened. I just know that you try to look it up right now. He does not have a YouTube channel under the interview room anymore. There's a couple of people that have the interview room, but they're nothing like. I think one of them was out of UK. I saw, but they're not his channel. So maybe y'all can enlighten me, because, like I said, I have not been on the internet, and
Ah,
um,
I'm sorry. I got clawed. Hey, Moses, that's my
in
leg.
in
Okay.
probably 3 or 4 days. And I'm going to show you what that was
That was
here.
Moses sitting. I can't see him. Look at Moses. Look. Shine, baby.
That's
Okay.
Moses.
So,
Moses, our cat.
I don't know if you're reading the
I'm
comments.
not.
Okay, you're not. You remember the girl, the mother and the daughter that we're going to talk about
Yeah.
tonight? Okay, her sister is on here with us right now. She said she could come on now or she can come on next week.
Uh,
Anytime's good. She would appreciate any.
Okay, does she want me to send her a link?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second, guys. I'm gonna see if I can't get her over here.
Casey, did you send us an
Uh,
email? Mm. Y'all, this is a sister that has she's got a sister and a niece that have been
is there a
missing.
Facebook page I can send it to? An email I can send it to?
Let
Uh,
me see. I think she said she sent us something. Hold on. Let me go to Facebook and find it. Let's see. That's not it.
if I can get some way to
Yeah, hold on just a minute.
send her a link, I'd love to have her on here and let her.
Yes, let her share about her
Right,
sister.
exactly.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay.
Is it
Please
in
let me know. Okay. All right, let me get her to send me an email. Send us your email to that message you sent me.
uh do you? I'm gonna post that in your.
Also, y'all, if you have not gone over to the GoFundMe page for Katie Cawthorn, they've only raised $175 for Melissa has towards helping find Katie. So if y'all get a chance, instead of giving to us, give to them.
Yeah,
Okay, here it is.
we
Casey.wicks@gmail.com.
I'm gonna send it to you. You need to post it to her, the link.
Mm, we're getting there, people. Just give us a minute. I was surprised to see Casey on here. I thought I had been checking my messages, but obviously not well
I
enough.
I can't no message tonight for some reason. Uh okay.
All right, you gonna send it to me?
I'm gonna
All right,
post it
Casey, just
here.
a minute.
Post it here and let
I
you
hope y'all are patient with us as we do this because we were not.
the top
This was
of
a
the thing
surprise.
here. The top is her.
Okay,
Is our link there?
okay.
Okay.
I haven't gotten it yet, so
It's on your Facebook.
yeah. Well,
I heard it ding on you.
on my
Uh,
phone it did. Okay.
we'll get there in a second. But it's on the GoFundMe page. If you go to our main channel page, it's in the
Here,
community tab.
send it to her because it's. I'm not getting it. I'm on a different. I'm on our.
I don't know.
I'm on the 1,000,000 miles. You sent it to me.
Okay, I don't. Hold on 1 second.
I know y'all will want to hear from Casey because this story really, when I listened to it, it just touched my heart.
My Gmail. I'm trying to get on Gmail. People are gonna leave here in a minute.
Maybe not. Hold on. I hope y'all are hanging on. You'll want to hear Casey's story.
Tell him I'm gonna send it from this one, or it's gonna be an hour
Okay.
me doing it.
Okay. He's fixing to send you one, Casey, and when you get it, who's it from?
It's from 1 million mile road
It's
trip.
from our other channel, the 1,000,000 Mile Road Trip. Okay.
What is?
Hers is Casey, CASEY.wix, WIX @gmail.com. Okay, Casey, you should have it in just a minute. All right. Okay, y'all.
Wix with S or Wix?
X.
X
X.
S.
X. X.
No, would you do? Is there an S on it?
No.
Okay, should have got it then. I didn't say it.
Casey, let us know you got it. Okay. No, you're not throwing a wrench into our show at all. We are
No, we'd
perfectly
love to
fine with
have you.
this.
We'd love to have you on there. I got. You see this? I've got some type of
We're getting sidetracked.
messed up
Mm.
place on me.
Okay. Thank you, Beach Bum, for posting the GoFundMe page for Katie
Oh, hold
Cawthorn.
on. I got. I lost everybody here just a minute. Okay, there you go. I've been editing, and the minute I even looked around, my whole editing software popped up. Now, which one is she?
She's the mom with the little girl. She's the sister that has a sister
Okay.
that's been missing for 17 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah. There's a lot on that story too. And I'm glad she's coming on to tell us. it's, they always need wrenches for all of us nuts anyway.
Yeah.
You're not
Okay.
going.
Here she
Okay,
is.
great.
Okay,
Hi,
great.
We
Great.
are so glad you're on.
Scoot
thank
over a
you
little
for
bit.
having. I'm glad we got that worked out, and I hope everyone stuck around. I'm so sorry.
No, it's
That's
okay.
that.
And there may not be but a few people on tonight, but people watch the show afterwards. We got people from all over the world watching.
Yeah,
So tell us your story so that they
yeah,
know what's going on.
yes. So my sister is Jennifer Wicks, and my niece is Adriana. They disappeared in 2004 from Cross Plains, Tennessee. In some of the articles and news that you find, you'll see it say Springfield, because where she disappeared was right on the line of those two cities.
Okay.
Um, but she was living with her boyfriend and his family at the time, and there were a lot of issues in their relationship. And I was a lot younger then, but I'm just recently getting into a lot of the details and can tell you, the full timeline. But on March 24th, my mom spoke to her for the last time, and she was in an argument, which these details get really really messed up between all of the years. It's been
Right.
17 years, but she spoke to my mom that night about an argument that she was in with his mother. And her name is Cindy Benton. I don't know if it's okay to say names on this.
I mean,
um,
it's facts. So,
yes. So that's his mom, and so his mom and dad lived there with Jennifer and the baby, and they were in a fight that evening when my mom talked to her. She was trying to sleep train the baby, and I guess the baby was being too loud and crying, and I guess the mom had had enough of it, and her boyfriend was actually in the room with the baby, because my sister would always bring the baby back in the room and wouldn't couldn't stand to hear her cry. So she just wanted to get her and bring her in the bed, which they were trying to not do anymore.
right.
Um, and so his mom was also mad that he was in the room with the baby. And so there was an argument. My mom said, tonight's not a good night for that. She said, go get the baby and y'all just go to sleep. And my sister said she'd go on a picnic the next day with her boyfriend and everything would be okay, Mom. She said, I'll call you tomorrow. Well, my mom didn't hear from her again.
Mm.
Um, and so I'm really looking into that next day on Thursday, because her boyfriend and my cousin, um, they worked together, and they were at a job site, and her boyfriend got called home for a family emergency that day. We don't know who made that call to him or what the emergency was, but supposedly his dad was in court and his mom was at work. Okay. But my sister that day, according to phone records, talked to her dad, who lives in Manchester, just a little bit outside Nashville, and then my aunt at the time, who lived right there in town. She mentioned the fight that she'd had with his mom, and also talked about the baby was sick. She was taken to the ER earlier that week, running fever. She had an infection that we're looking into for possible, how do you say, like child abuse, maybe someone doing something
Right.
inappropriate. Um, so
I had read that.
yes, there's a lot of that's true. Okay, and we're working on getting those medical records, and we haven't been able to do that because we're not the baby's guardian. Her only guardian disappeared, so it's a hard situation. But um so he was at work that day and got called home for emergency, and we don't know what that emergency was. We don't know if my sister called or who it was. But the phone call she made to her dad, that's why I brought that up. He heard a woman's voice in the background of the phone call and cartoons playing. baby, but he heard a woman's voice. The only other woman that lived there was his mom. But supposedly she was at work, and she was never questioned or took a polygraph test or anything. They know
Did
none
the
of.
police check her employment?
Supposedly, I don't know that for fact, but I just know from things that I've read. I don't know if y'all know what the topics forum is, but
I
it was
tried
kind
to
of.
look it up today.
It doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. But I
Okay.
have printouts.
Okay.
My mom was really good and printed a lot of that stuff. Then so I've been, going through it with a fine tooth comb. But supposedly, the police just ruled that she wasn't there that day. She was at work, and they never, according to her phone records, I think they had said, that's what her husband had wrote in that topics forum, had written. Um, but there.
How long ago have y'all tried to get the court to release those records?
I mean, it was right after they disappeared. I mean, a couple of months.
Because what y'all could do would be to hire a lawyer, and the lawyer could become an attorney ad litem for for the baby.
Yeah.
But what that means is the judge, they don't even have to be an attorney
No.
really, but they the they would appoint. They normally appoint either an attorney
No.
or guardian ad litem is what they call it, and what that means is like I said, it doesn't have to be an attorney. It could be anybody that would represent or stand in for the child in court,
Okay.
because the court, of course, the child's too young to represent themselves. But right now, I think who is the most closest relative to her and the child that's still living?
Um,
Your mom?
that's a real difficult question to answer. My mom is probably the best answer for that. But uh, we're working on another route, because
Okay.
we believe we know who the baby's dad is. So we're working on that, and we're going to try and go that
So
route.
the boyfriend was not the baby's father.
He was not Adriana's father, which that comes up quite a bit too. A lot of people believe that, but he is not. Um,
Okay.
and we believe we have paternity records to prove that.
Good.
But yeah, so
Have
we're gonna.
y'all
I'm
have
sorry.
y'all thought about putting? I get something in my mind, and I sometimes I interrupt, and I don't mean to be an
Okay.
apology for that. But have you thought about if you could get some way to get DNA, since you have paternity records, if you can find out the father of the child, who the father is, have them enter their DNA into CODIS, have the police enter it if they will, enter it into CODIS. And what CODIS is of course you may know, but
Hmm.
CODIS is the law enforcement uh, DNA database. And
Okay.
if for some reason that the daughter would be how old now?
She'd be
She.
graduating from high school.
Yeah, I think she's nine. She might be
Yeah.
19.
Yeah. She'd be 19 because she disappeared when she was 2, right?
If she'd ever put her DNA into a database, if she'd ever been arrested, if she's deceased, anything that would hit on that person. It may be able to solve
Yeah.
the linkage. Where if she'd ever been to the military, a
Mm.
whole lot of ways. Most people, though, if they question their hair, where they come from, they'll send their DNA off to ancestry.com, other stuff, and you may get a hit on it that way.
Right. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, I'll look into that. Yeah. So, um, I'll tell a little bit more,
Yeah,
and
go
then
ahead.
y'all,
Yeah, go ahead.
y'all feel free to jump in. But that Thursday, so there was that emergency phone call that we don't know what it was, and we don't know who the mystery woman was there at their house that day. But he was called home from work. My cousin drove him home, from work, and my cousin says he doesn't remember if it was to his home or if they had met at my cousin's house and rode together. So, um, I mean, it was 17 years ago. He says he can't remember.
Right.
And my cousin was not questioned, believe it or not, till 10 years after their disappearance.
Wow. God.
Um, yeah, so there's a lot of that going on. So on Friday, I'm just walking through the timeline with you, but on Friday, let me say on Thursday, Joey, the boyfriend, that's his name, Joey Benton, he made a statement for the police that he had taken them to a local grocery. This is all on one highway, mind you. Okay, so it's all on the same highway. A very small town, Cross Plains is. I don't know population. I should know that, but a small grocery. He said that he took her there at her request to use the phone. I don't know why she couldn't use his phone, because he had a cell phone. But to use the phone, she went in and used the phone, which all of the witnesses that worked there that night say she did not come in that store. That they would have had to ask them to use the phone because it was behind desk. So they say she never showed up there. But he says he took them there to use the phone, and then they got into the car and she said, take me to the Exxon at the interstate. So an exit right off the interstate, a gas station right off the interstate. And he says, which I'll just go ahead and make a point there. They would have driven right past our house. We lived on that main highway between the grocery store and the Exxon. Okay. So if anything crazy were happening, like we feel like anyway, she would come there. But
That
anyway,
makes sense.
well, I mean, you never know. So following his storyline. So he says he took them to the Exxon and dropped them off, just let them out of the car, that someone was coming to pick them up. And he went across the street, which was a church, and I don't know if it's still there. The gas station is not still there, by the way, but went across the street and parked and watched for about 10 minutes. And an older model white four-door car came to pick them up, and Jennifer and Adriana got into the back of it. He couldn't see the people. He didn't know how many people. They just got into the back of the car without the baby's car seat, without any of their things. And then they drove off, and he doesn't know what direction they went. So a lot of people, I just want to make this very clear, that's his story. And if you look up our case, that's what it says is the story for our case. But his statement is that she came back to their house
Right.
the next day on Friday. Okay. So I just want to make it very clear. Their home was the last place, according to his story, the last time to see them that she was ever seen.
Right.
And supposedly she came back in that same white car that he said was a white four-door Camaro, which does not exist.
Right.
A white four-door Mustang, which does not exist. He actually owned a Mustang. And then later it just changed to an older white four-door car. He couldn't remember. But she came back to get her income tax money, which was, she didn't have a job really. She was really dependent on him and us, and like a young single mom, just really dependent. And she couldn't hold a job. She worked night shifts and whatnot, but on food stamps, things like that. That was their life. And she had her income tax money deposited into his parents' bank account. And it was something like, I don't know the amount, but $500 is the number that's been in the reports for years.
Right.
And he told her that his parents were not home. That was on Friday. His parents were not home and that he didn't have the money and she'd have to come back. And supposedly she got in the car and drove off, and he never saw them again or talked to them. So
I think so, a little bit mouse thing
that was the last night the last day that she was seen. That evening on Friday, he and his friends gathered at a fire at what they called the party barn on their property. And my sister lived in that party barn. It had electricity, but no running water or anything, but it didn't have heat or anything. So during the winter, they had to move back into his parents' house, which is why, I guess, all the tension, all them living in one house. Yeah. But they had a fire that Friday with him, my cousin, a couple of other people. My cousin, he's like, where's Jennifer? She was supposed to be here. And he's like, oh, well, they went to a friend's house and never questioned him again. Saturday, we reported her missing. And after that, just local law enforcement. I mean, if you read through a lot of the forums and things, and I can share a lot of information, there's just a lot of, our hands are tied. We're doing the best that we can. This is all we can do. We'll let you know. It's an open, active investigation, and uh, we can't get our hands on statements that were made and reports, and we can't know all of the details because it's active. Um, and
It's been long enough. You ought to be able to go to court and get.
Let me ask you this. I read somewhere in it, maybe if I'm thinking the same one, didn't somebody go investigate supposedly a friend of hers house where they owned a white car or something, and they said they were at the races or something that weekend?
yes,
Okay.
so those individuals, their names are Jerry and Helga Jackson, and that is also his story. I guess that he told my cousin. She's at a friend's house, but then he also says she got into this car and he didn't know what it was, or what type of car, and he never saw her again. Um, so there's a mixed story there. She was at their home earlier that week, and they were actually, whenever my family spoke to them, trying to talk her out of that relationship. There was just so much like verbal abuse and like bad things going on, drugs, like bad
Right.
things. Baby should not be around, and they tried to talk her out of, you know, being there. And I mean, she just went back.
Who? What police
What is
department
this?
is this?
It's Robertson County Sheriff's Department, in Robertson County. And we've had a little bit of TBI involvement, and you probably know more than I do, about how all that works. And I don't know when they pick it up and how they partner together, but it's Robertson County Sheriff's Department. And they've had a couple of detectives on the case. The original officer who took the statement from Joey the night that the police went over there to question them. Um, they were told they could not come in, that they would need a search warrant.
Mhm.
Which,
That's strange.
if you're innocent, like, come on in. Yeah, we have no idea where she is.
Well, you know what may have been the problem is they may have had drugs in the house. If they're, if that was the thing, uh, I agree. It's odd, but you don't know what. I'm not making excuses for them, but if that's in that area about that time frame, that is meth is pretty strong up in that area around that year. Whole
Mm,
Tennessee was that. I was in narcotics at that time, in 2004, was it when the
Yeah.
disappearance had? Um, what? So when I guess it goes back to who is the closest relative to your is it
It's
or
her sister.
it's your sister?
Yes, her sister and her
Okay,
niece.
mhm.
I think that probably, and I hate to say it, but if you get a lawyer, and I know lawyers cost money, but I don't think for this what you would need would be that much money. If you could get an attorney, if try to get one that's pretty active in that county, and see if he can get with the police to release as much of the report as you can. Now, public record, you can get the front page of the report. You can get some things to public record. You can go up there and say, I want to, you write a letter, I want a public record request for anything you can share.
Okay.
But I think an attorney might be able to go to him and say, look, it's been what, 17 years?
Mm,
The family wants to hire their own private investigator or whatever, and we would like a copy of any witness statements or whatever, you know.
okay.
And the only other thing you possibly could do,
Come here,
it's
Megan.
been such a long time, um, is some type of civil
That's
action
what I was wondering.
to address wrongful death. But have they been declared dead?
No.
Okay.
No.
They have.
Um,
Dang. Dang it.
I know nobody likes to do that because then everybody said you're quote giving up, but that's not necessarily. I mean, if you got somebody that's been missing 16 or 17 years, um, another thing you could do is hire a private investigator that would uh, go in and try to look at like DNA from websites. Try to, if you can establish who the father was and get DNA from them, enter it into various websites, see if anybody is claiming, see, when I put my DNA into ancestry.com, it gave me a list of cousins that I'd never even heard about, fourth, fifth, sixth down in cousins, but I was contacted by people that I had no idea that were even in my family. So that might get you a start,
It's a good
just
idea.
by doing that,
Yeah.
if you can establish, say you establish this person as the father,
Mm-hmm.
then see if he would give his DNA and put it in GenMax, Ancestry, or 23andMe. There's a whole bunch of them. There's some that are free, and that you might look up and just boom, there's a DNA, her DNA in there.
Yeah.
Because what I'm thinking is, if somebody did something to her, they may have taken the child.
Maybe not the
You
baby. Yeah. Yeah. There's been a
Right.
lot.
The child,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. There's.
because I'm talking about just general adoption itself, and I'm not talking about through the court.
Yeah,
They
but there
might
was
just pass the
also
child
but there's
off.
also the rumor out there that there was something being done to the child, so it
Mm,
may be.
Yeah, and that might have been the thing that caused this to begin with. Somebody thought they were going to go to jail forever and did something. But
yeah.
just by getting the DNA, her DNA or the child's DNA or somebody's DNA into these systems, it could generate something.
Yeah.
But now, on the law enforcement aspect of it, um, I think TBI would be your number one source, and that. But if you could get something, some way to get those like witness statements and stuff, but them declaring it's still an active investigation, that kind of,
Yeah.
I know how it is because I've had those type of cases where they're cold, but you
But they're
can't
active.
really release you can't really release the statements because I fear that there'll be some repercussion for the other person, another person out here that uh, there's no factual data that would absolutely give them, enough to have them arrested. But I
Right.
think just by contacting an attorney in town, I think a lot of that can. Now, let me tell you about a case and see how you might think about this.
Okay.
There's a case in Florida. Uh, the last name is Keese. I think it is Keese or something. I can get you the exact name.
Okay.
A girl went missing. She was living in an apartment complex. When she left work the next day, they think somebody grabbed her. Well, she was missing for about 12 years, and the family just begged the police department to, you know, they couldn't get anything done with them. So they sued the police department to get copies of the records, everything. And finally, they won in court, and they got all of the records were turned over to them. But with that, the police department said, "We're closing this case out ourselves. If y'all going to have all this, take the records." And but at least they went through all these records, and I'm talking about 6,000, 8,000 pages of records,
Yeah.
state everything, and then they were able to. They spent a lot of money, in other words, putting searches out for this girl, and she still has not been found. So but there is a way, some way out there to get records. The longer the case drags on, the colder it gets. There is a way.
Okay, now do you have a GoFundMe page?
No. I know you've talked about the cost of things, and I'm not really sure what. I've been seeing that a lot. Like since I've started to like really dive headfirst into this after Gabby Petito and all of that stuff came up, I sort of started taking it over from my mom. You'll see my mom on a lot of like the news and
Right.
all being quoted. Um, and I just started to take that from her. So I don't know really know what a GoFundMe, like what are people raising money for.
You're
um
going to be raising money to hire, if you want to, a private detective, an
we've got,
attorney.
okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
And what, or for printing up flyers, for
okay,
getting the information out there.
It's
Um,
gonna be more difficult though because this is a cold case, but
mhm.
it's not impossible.
right.
Let me say this though. Um, have you got any friends in the media? I mean, has the media
um
what I would do is contact a, and I'm saying this and it's kind of sexist when I do,
that's okay.
but contact a female media person.
You know, someone that can relate with their story.
Right, exactly. And tell your story and say, look, we can't, all we want basically is to know what's going on. It's been 17 years.
But y'all
Uh,
want closure.
we want closure. We want find out where if this baby's still alive. Can y'all feature this story again as a, you know, uh, human interest, whatever, on the anniversary? It's
It's
better if
March.
it's anniversary and or whatever. You know, the child's birthdays. Put something in
When's
correlation
your
with their.
sister or your niece's birthday?
Jennifer's is in August and Adriana's is in January.
Okay.
Well, even January, and I know that you're looking at a couple of months, but if you could hit it up about the time to say, look, we are starting a renewed.
Maggie.
My burglar
Sorry.
alarm's going off.
Maggie.
We're starting an renewed
No.
uh, search
No.
for this that,
Uh-uh.
and just throw out there, we're seeking any type of information. It doesn't
Maggie.
matter how small
Damn.
it is. You could get you a burner phone. I wouldn't want you to give your own
No.
phone number out. Get you a burner phone and don't even answer it. Just let everything go to your message. Put a message on there. You have information on there. We'll take it anonymous, whatever. Because
Okay.
you get all kinds of people want to charge you two or three
Okay.
$1,000 to help find your, your sister or
And
whatever. Don't fall for and never meet anybody
right.
alone. But
Okay.
what I'm saying is have somebody where they can a number where they can call in information because you can refer it to TBI, but if you're not if if you're just looking at them as having it a cold case, I would just have my own number there, sort of
Okay.
saying call this.
And when we had a girl on the other day that she's looking for her sister that's been missing 2 years, and we told her the same thing. Do not meet any. There'll be nuts out there that'll want you to meet them at dark or whatever. They've got her information, or you'll get a phone call, and
Well,
it may even be somebody that sounds like her.
Adam
Yeah,
Walsh was one when Adam disappeared. He got all kinds of nutcases came to him, won't charge him money to find him. But what I'm saying is, if you create a new interest in the
Yeah.
case, bring up take it off the cold shelf. Because you think about this, when I was an investigator, my primary goal was narcotics, but I had a lot of other. I worked homicide and a lot of other stuff. If it rocked on for a year or two, it's not going to be on my desk anymore. It's going to be in a file on the
right.
cold case, and unless I get some phone call saying, "Hey, some great new information," I'm never probably even going to look at that again.
Right.
So, and there's probably been 10 detectives change hands since this case has been in there. So what I would do is just try to create some new interests in it. Like, I
Okay.
mean, just like coming on here, we have around about 5,500 subscribers, something around there. But 75% of everybody that comes on here is not a subscriber. So I might get 30,000 people look at this video over time, but
Right.
that don't subscribe. So do this one. If you can do something with another person online, do it with them too. But
Yeah.
the best thing you can do is to make a friend in the media. Make a uh, find one of the ladies that works up there that is a reporter,
Okay.
and make a friend with her, and just say, "Look, I need some help." Uh, you know,
Go look at the GoFundMe page at missing people and look
Okay.
at how they wrote it up and write it up and put it out there. You want to raise $5,000 or whatever, and as you know, you'll start getting money. And
Yeah.
as you do, the more you put it out there, just tell the newspapers, tell everybody, put it on your Facebook page, that you want to find your sister. And remember this, somebody knows something.
now let me
Yes.
ask: do you have a find Facebook page? Do you need to find? You need to make one up, a Facebook page.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Find so Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Find her
Wait a
name.
minute. Hold on.
It's
I just
find, but it says I think right now
Yeah,
it's named this for Jennifer Nudriana, and
right.
until like to your point of finding someone in the media, until recently that page has been pretty much dead. And I took it over in the past couple of weeks, and I'm making some real personal posts in there, and I have an event going right now with like kind of to your point, the media side of it. Like I'm trying to get people like you and like the Up and Vanish podcast and Serial podcast, and I'm looking for like, which I know that you're not in the business anymore and retired, but like someone who will actually come here and do like investigative research. you know I listen to those, and I believe that it works and it will drum up some, like you
Okay.
said, more.
I tell you, somebody
Right.
to contact too is she runs a she doesn't do live, but she does a great. She has about 60,000 followers. Is a she her name on YouTube is Plunder. It's
Plunder.
PL. Yeah, it's Plunder. PLUNDER.
Okay.
Another one you could possibly contact is Duty Ron. He's a retired New York City police detective.
Okay.
Um,
Uh,
you
okay.
know,
After
I can name the people that I would recommend to you. There's a bunch out there.
Okay.
tomorrow, after this will go up, and people, you can go back and watch it tomorrow. Go
I will.
back and watch this, and as you're watching, read the comments on the
Okay.
right side, because our people are putting up great comments. They're going to tell you, people that they would recommend you hitting up. They will also contact other channels they watch and say, "Hey, get with Casey Robinson," and they can contact us, and we will give them your information. So
Yeah,
the more you get it out there, the bigger
Mhm.
it's going to be.
we're not in competition with
No,
anybody. That's not what it is. It's all about the missing for us.
right.
Another YouTuber is not a competition for me. I'm not interested in that type of stuff.
Right.
Somebody
Um,
said call the Cold Case Foundation.
yeah,
Okay.
that is one thing too. I don't know much about that, but
Somebody else said it's a crime with Linda.
yeah,
Just go back
uh,
and read all these comments and just write them down, and just reach out to every one of these people. I like to. I actually went to the Facebook page. That's how I read about your sister and about you, and that's why I reached out to you, because this is a cold case and this does need to be opened back up. You need
yeah.
closure. This is ridiculous.
Your
Yeah.
last name, actually, we're friends with some. Grew up with some Robinsons, and actually, one of their sons was just like my brother from another mother, actually. But he recently died last year of liver failure, and I mean, his mother is just like my second mother. She's just unbelievable woman. But somewhere down the line, I'm sure y'all are kin. But
I'm married into
you
that
know,
name.
last name.
Yeah, she
But
married into that.
oh, did you? But what I'm saying is, yes, make as many YouTube friends as you can. These with creators, because they're going to want to help you, and maybe from that, there are several YouTubers, smaller ones or whatever, that actually, and some that work with others that go out and will help you do something on the ground if you want them to.
That's what I want.
Um, you may need boots on the ground, somebody that can kind of help you there.
Equi
But
sir, well, that's too
well,
late for them, isn't it?
it's too late for them to
Yeah.
do that. What I tell you, what I would do if I were you too, if I was in your situation, I would get me a like a poster board, and I would put her and the child here, and then I would just draw a line off of it of how this person's connected, where were the last place she
Right.
saw, just like a, you know how you see law enforcement, a lot of these crime shows, they'll make a
Yeah,
board.
with
That's
like a
exactly how you do it. You have to, you want to see what, where everything's connected, and when you got several things connecting to one person, then you need to eliminate that one person. Now I don't know why. I can't tell you why, because I wouldn't. It wasn't my case. But I don't know why they didn't. Did they even interview the mother-in-law?
the his mom.
Yeah.
I believe so. And matter
You
of fact,
know,
I think she's
interviewed in
real
one.
silent.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry.
I was just gonna say she's been real silent through it all. Like we've not heard a lot from their family over the years until recently. But she's been completely silent. It's mainly been her husband and, every now and then my sister's boyfriend or ex.
Hey, also on the GoFundMe page, you
Hmm.
can put down that you are collecting also for a reward to be offered for someone to come forward.
Yeah.
And you offer some good money in a town that's small, somebody's going to speak up.
Let me tell you something that may be a long shot, but it's worth it.
Okay.
You write a letter, heartfelt letter, uh, to Dateline,
Okay.
Yeah.
and Dateline could possibly pick it up,
Okay.
and especially because the child involved, and you talking about
Also,
major.
tell about reaching out to the governor's office to
Yeah,
offer a
there's
reward.
another thing that governor's offices, if the police, depending on how the police have characterized the case, but the
Hmm.
governor's office in most states will offer a governor's award for information that leads to the arrest or the safe return or the location of these two people. And
Okay.
they could put 5,000, 10,000, or what, or all the way up. I've seen them, but it's nothing for them to do that. It's just a stroke of a pen.
I
If you
believe
know anybody,
Yeah.
I believe
if you
that
know,
we have a $25,000 reward posted. Um,
Okay.
but I don't know exactly who all. It's been so many years. I believe maybe the governor has maybe 10 of that. I don't know.
Okay, then that's already done. Then you need to be putting that on that Facebook page. You need to be putting that out there.
yeah,
Okay.
if you, here's one thing that a lot of people have done that have been on this show and have talked to us about, and a lot of times they will get a billboard up in their community with that reward on it. And a
Hmm.
lot of time, these billboard places will actually
Donate.
donate that as a community service. And
Yeah.
you might just go and talk to them and say, look, we don't have much money. This is the reward. We're trying to get this case started back. We're developing some new leads. We're trying to get other leads. Was there any way you can help us out and give us a billboard in town, as close to in town as you can?
Right.
Because the person that did or had anything to do with this, they're sitting back thinking, well, this thing's brought along 17 years, ain't nothing gonna ever be solved on it. And then boom, they look up on a billboard and there's $25,000 reward for new information or anything. A lot of that generates a lot of people out there is going to look at it and say, it might be John down the road might say, I know about this
Oh,
case. Or in another way too is, if so and so gets arrested and they need some information to help them get out of a charge, a
Yes.
lot of times that will go up. But another thing that they did,
uh,
1 second.
Wolfman says check to see if it's still valid. Many rewards expire. So you need to make
Yeah,
sure it hasn't expired
yeah, the
before you
governor's
start
award
posting
or
it. You don't want
or
to have to come up.
anything. Yeah, make sure it has not expired. And one other thing too, a lot of times just getting that poster back out there, uh, getting a good, clean, color poster, something that's going to be with a reward that you know is not expired, get you even as little as 500 of them or 100 of them, and
Okay.
go to places downtown or places where you think your suspect might see that.
Okay.
In
Casey,
other words,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
won't get it turning, stir in the pot, you might say.
one of
Okay.
the things one of the things that you need to do, if that reward is still available, then you contact the news media and tell them there's a $25,000 reward. Will y'all please come? Let me talk about it. Do a news report on it. And
Okay.
when you do, you be as heartfelt as you can, reaching out there and say, somebody knows something. We need closure. We want to know, where is my sister? Where is my little niece? She should have been graduating from high school and going to college. My sister could have been married and have other children. We don't know.
Yeah.
Really? Pour it on.
But I'll say this too, when it all comes down to it, as information and stirred up into the community, a small town community, and things get, the real people that did this or has something to do with it gets worried, also comes a little bit of danger to y'all. So if you hear any information that you think is going to be, I don't care how little it is, you notify TBI, you
Yes.
notify local police. Even if you don't think they'll do anything about it, you need to tell somebody about it. And
Okay.
because the sheriff's elected every 4 years in Tennessee, I think, or every 6 years, I can't
Mm.
remember. It's a political job, so I would exploit the thing is going to the sheriff personally and saying, I really need to know what's going on this. We generated this lead or that lead. I don't know. Is that sheriff that was in there in 2004? Is he still the sheriff now?
Oh no. No.
See, that's what I would do. I would go to that sheriff and say, "Look, we are going to put out as much with the media. We're going to bring this back to light. We need to generate some leads on it. I'm trying to find out about it. Will you help me?"
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's just a fact, that
But
in this long, it's been this long, it is a political office.
Casey, the
Yeah.
main thing is, I'm not kidding you. I'm sitting here reading these comments from our subscribers,
Mm.
and I'm amazed at some of the stuff that they're putting on here of ideas and different people in YouTube that you can reach out to. If you're willing to go on YouTube channels, I can't think of any that would turn you down. And
Yeah.
Wolfman has a podcast, and Wolfman said he would open his podcast up for you to come on.
I
You be the face of your sister and your niece. Be
will.
that face and get in and get out there and just really pull at people's heartstrings, because there are mothers, there's fathers, there's sisters, there's brothers, there's uncles, there's aunts. Somebody knows something.
Would
Yeah.
you mind if we passed your email on to him and
No.
let y'all connect up together,
Okay.
and we'll do that. And if we can, if we can be of any assistance at all to you, come on later on, want to just, anything, don't hesitate to send us an email. I'll be more than glad to do it. I wish I knew somebody up in that area. I don't. But if it's not the same sheriff, because I'm gonna tell you, it's not unusual for a sheriff in Tennessee to be in office 50 years. I've seen one.
Yeah.
But if it's not the same sheriff, I would go to that sheriff and sit down with him, because you're not talking about the sheriff of Nashville that has so much,
Yes.
has 500 deputies. You're probably talking about a sheriff that doesn't have that much. And
Right.
then if you don't feel like that you can get any satisfaction there, I would call TBI, talk to the whoever's handling the case. It's a cold
Mm.
case, but try to generate some leads that way. But
I
you
have
know,
done. I've met with our TBI agent in the past couple of weeks, and I
Good.
plan with the detective at Robertson County. I just haven't made that appointment yet. But I do have a question for you because I know that you're
Sure.
experienced. And the detective that's on the case, he is not the original one either. And he's actually moved departments now to traffic. He's head over that department. And he held on to our case. And there's a lot of talk about this too, if you look around and rumors and whatnot. But like, it's a very small town, and so I just wonder, like, is it normal for like a detective to hold on to a cold homicide investigation? It was turned to a homicide in 2013, reclassified. Like, is that a normal thing to be able to hold on to a case like that if you've moved into like a traffic division, or would it not be beneficial for there to be like a new detective, a fresh perspective, fresh set of eyes? I feel like that would make more sense. I just want to get your opinion on that.
Well, it's a double-edged sword. One is you want that person that's emotionally involved in that case to still have access to it.
Right.
To just because it's a small town, he may be over traffic, but he still can work anything he wants to in a small town. It's
Okay.
just like, but on the other hand, if he passed it back to say whoever took over his spot,
Mhm.
sure, that would get a new set of eyes. But it depending on how many cases he's running in there, he may just put it in the file. So it's kind of a dual-edged sword. But I'll say this: when I was actually in charge of narcotics at one time, and if I had something, I was just happened to be in the docket room, a big room where people come in and make reports. And this girl came in with her father, and she had her husband had just went nuts and went out missing. He was missing, and this was on a Friday, so or Saturday morning. So they patrol tells her, well, oh, if the detectives get a hold of Monday, and she's saying, well, Monday he could be in so and so, so and so. I mean, he's already went through $100,000 in like 3 days.
Yes.
So I said, let me see what I can do, and I took that case basically out of the detective's hands and worked it, and that because I got emotionally involved in the case, I wanted to help them find him. I ran it. I mean, I stayed with the case totally until they had a tragic end. The guy ran off the road and killed himself. But uh, it
He
it
wouldn't
was
have
like,
if the
yeah, I mean,
OnStar hadn't
a
have
bunch of
screwed up.
stuff happened in the case where we had OnStar. He had an OnStar in his car, and I told OnStar, just give us the location. We had a court order to do that. I said, do not contact him. And the OnStar picks it up and mashed the button and said, sir, are you okay? Your wife's concerned about your well being. Well, what does he do? He drives the car down and gives it to somebody on the street in New Orleans. $55,000 car. So, but if this guy's emotionally involved in this case, and he's taking it with him, I
Yeah.
don't see a problem with that. Um, as
There.
long as long as he's not protecting
Yeah.
somebody and putting it in a drawer,
But now,
you know.
Casey, didn't the original cop who took the original statement
Yeah, that's what I
from,
was telling you.
yeah, from the
Yes,
guy,
from
he
Joe.
got fired?
Yes, he got fired because the statement that he took and wrote down that day, Joey's dad, Joe, went to the sheriff's office and complained that that cop had made things up, or that police officer had made things up, that his son would never say that it was a white four-door car, and change his story to a Mustang and Camaro, that he owned a Camaro. He was an enthusiast, he said. And he was fired. The police officer was fired for making a false statement. And then they made a new statement.
Yeah, they wrote a new statement. And your
Wow.
mom went to the police officer's firing and spoke
Yes,
and spoke for him,
yes, ma'am.
saying, yeah, that's
Well,
crazy.
one thing you may want to do, you may want to try to contact that, or have some of your whoever's working with you contact that law enforcement, that officer,
Yeah,
find out if he's still in law enforcement or if he's whatever he's doing, and see if he will give you some insight
That's a good idea.
into that. But if he can, if nothing else, if you could go to him and see if he would write a formal statement on it. If he
Yeah.
didn't want to do that, if maybe he would let you take notes and find out what was the original thing, because I'm sure with him being fired, he is no
You
love
remember?
lost for that place. So
Mm-hmm.
he might give you some insight that you about the whole case in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
I
you
would
need
do
to
that. I would definitely contact him.
write your senators and your congressmen. But one thing, do you have a book that you're writing down everybody you call and talk to and the date and the time and all of that?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Great.
but it's in my phone.
I
um,
would I would do
Well, you may
something
want to
with
do
a
something with
I would
paper
do it
because I
like a
lost my
hard
phone.
copy because you if you have to give it I would I hate to be paranoid but I am um I would make put it in sheets where you could put it in a binder book
Yeah.
and I would make a copy of it. And then so if you ever have to pass it on to law enforcement, you could say, "Here is my copy.
Now make you a
I have
copy.
a copy of it. Make you a copy or pass it on to somebody very important to look into it." At least you would have the originals and everything with you.
I lost
Um,
my phone, and when I couldn't find it, I had to get a new one, and I lost everything. I had
yeah,
two messages, one from my mother and one from my aunt, and they both had passed away. That I had kept them recordings, and I lost that. I lost everything.
yeah.
So don't
phone
don't
is
depend on your phone.
no, I would not either. I would, if
Okay,
nothing else, keep it in a book or this another way, email it to yourself again. But
okay.
even that can get kind of messed up. But like you said, like all these people, they have great comments in their comments.
Yeah, I can't wait to
But
read.
I would
Please
I
do.
would contact, you can start at the bottom and work your way up instead of starting at the top and working your way down. I would go to my local sheriff. I would say, hey, this is, I realize it's a cold case. I realize, and I may be seeking out stuff but this is a whole new effort for us. We are going to be proactive from now on.
Yes,
Is there
sir.
any way you can help me by looking at this case and seeing what part of the case you can let me see or have or get copies or what's the public? And then if he says no, it's active, if he gives you the thing,
Mm-hmm.
well, no, I can't. We'll say, what public record stuff can I get, and if do I need to file a public records request? And then he may just say, I'll give you this or this. And some sheriffs might pull it out and look at it and say, you know what? Here, look at it. I'm gonna go down the hall and get a cup of coffee. I've seen
Love
I've
that.
actually seen that done because he realized, hey, this is old and these people are really concerned. You want to use as much of the friendly I'm here as a trying to seek help that you can, but
Okay.
is the more you beating your head against the brick wall, then you have to sit back and say, okay, I'm not going to just be Mr. Nice, Miss Nice anymore. I'm going to go the law. Law says I can get this, then I want it. If
Yes.
if your sheriff doesn't help you, you go to TBI or still talk to TBI if they're doing something. If they don't help you, then go further. Go
Okay.
to the state attorney general's office and talk to somebody there, one of the investigators.
Okay.
Call the governor's office and see if you can get the governor to ask the attorney general to look into the case again. After, if that doesn't, if you got any friends as a congressman or a senator in your area at the state level and at the federal level. I mean, there's we told the girl the other night, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yep.
Yeah, and that is very, very true. I remember when I was working cases in narcotics, we would get information about a house that maybe is dealing drugs, and we just didn't have enough to get a search warrant there. But if my chief or I kept getting calls on it, and the minute the chief gets hold of it, and he calls me and says, hands me a piece of paper and says, "Do something about this," then
Yeah.
it's a whole new ball game. Then I start getting their trash in the morning. Then I start using informants to try to get in the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you got to do that. And we have other guys here that would, that you may get somebody that wants to come up there and put boots on the ground and see if they can't help you. And we'll hook, if you don't mind, we'll pass
We won't
your
Anyone.
pass on to
email.
anybody we don't know.
Right, but we'll give your email to somebody and let them contact you, and
Okay.
then y'all can work that out
Well,
on
they
you
can
and up
also
there.
contact you on that Facebook page too, right? Send you a message.
It's called Justice for Jennifer and Adriana with. Mhm.
I will post it
Yeah,
again right
and
now.
we'll put that in on our in the comments here, and then we'll try to do that in our community page also.
Yeah. Now, when
Um,
you set up the GoFundMe page, you need to send us a link in that
Okay.
message that you and I've been communicating with. Send us
Mhm.
that, and we'll post it on our page for people to go to. And
mhm.
hopefully, you'll start seeing some money come in. And for
Okay.
those of y'all that are here tonight, please do not forget to go over to Katie Cawthorn's GoFundMe page because they have only raised $175, and so they need to raise some money because this is a
This
case
is
that's 2 years old, same case.
same way it was you. They're kind of wanting to generate interest. You've got the hardest battle because of the age of the
Yeah.
case,
Right.
but it does not mean it's impossible.
Okay.
Yes.
It's not just impossible.
Mhm.
TS wanted to know, how would you go about finding a good PI? How you're telling her to find a PI?
Uh, a private investigator, I would talk. Sure, I can tell you. Oh, look it up on the phone. But what I would do is talk to some people that are in the community that that have used PIs or whatever. Um, but the usually private investigators are they cost money,
Yeah.
and a lot of times we don't have the kind of money. I mean, there's one near where I used to work. I mean, they were expensive, real expensive, and the best way to the best thing to do is to try to handle it through your law enforcement, sheriff's department, the sheriff,
Yeah.
you know, the police chief in your area, the sheriff, and then go up from there. And then if you can't get any help, period, you may have to go that route where you
Which we.
talk to a private investigator. And if you do have to go that route,
Mhm.
hit us back up, and I could probably call somebody that I know that works in that area that might tell me who to that you know. I'll give you a list about 3 or 4 people, but I
Yeah.
would go the sheriff, police chief, and the law enforcement route first, and
Okay.
then work my way out of that way.
But
No.
contact your senators, your congressman, your
But
governor.
but
Make sure the
start
money about. Make sure
start
about the.
start at the bottom though. Start
Yeah.
police chief, sheriff, these guys, because you don't want them to look here and think you're trying to go over their head and
Right.
put kind of middle in their cases. If they're going to be the first ones to help you. You know.
Right. Yeah.
And the reason we told the girl the other day to go higher up is because Tennessee State Troopers, she had gotten EquiSearch. They were going to come and help her search. And EquiSearch is a huge deal. And they were
Yeah.
going to come and help her search. And the Tennessee State Troopers said no, they would not give them permission.
Yeah, I don't know the whole deal of that, but they have some relationships with some state senators or something, so
Yeah.
they're gonna follow that up. And I mean, I still think that you still have a uh, major thing with the sheriff not being in the same
Okay.
office.
Gonzo is one of our subscribers. He's got his own show. He
Mhm.
said he's going to be back working on the Summer Wells case in Tennessee. He can
Yeah.
stop in and help Casey out or find an avenue for her.
I'd
So
love.
And
Gonzo,
he's kind
he's
of
a
boots on the ground
good guy.
guy. Yeah, he's one of the good guys, and he's a boots
Good.
on the ground guy too. So he may can help you out.
Are
Yeah,
you close to where Summer Wells went missing?
I believe she
Where?
went East Tennessee. And I'm right outside Nashville. Robertson County is right butts up to Davidson, Nashville. Um,
Right.
Now
Yeah.
you north of Nashville or what?
yes, it's north of Nashville.
Hey, we may have to meet up with you when we're in Nashville
Mhm.
because our son is in Nashville. He's an up and coming songwriter, singer.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's got
A
a
record deal
record
right
coming out
now.
at the end of the
First of the
year.
year. Yeah.
well, good for
So
him.
when we're in
Yeah.
town, we'll have to hit you up.
Yes,
Uh,
definitely.
yeah. And it's a real Gonzo. I know this kind of interesting name, but he does a lot of on the ground, boots on the ground type work.
Yeah, that's I
Him
didn't.
and a couple other guys, and they've been out to Arizona, and they've been out a few places. And if nothing else, he could tell you um, where you need to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember this.
Okay.
Okay. Be sure and contact us with the GoFundMe page. Get back with us and tell us what's going on. And do not meet anybody by yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Please, and take notes of
at
everybody
least
you talk
not
to.
unless they're somebody that knows him, and they can kind of put their you know stamp on
I
it.
don't
I
want
don't
you to be
want you
hurt
to.
or missing.
That's right. Yeah, we've actually done a story on a girl that was a big time
Searching for missing
searching for
people.
missing people and ended up missing,
Yeah,
and she's
she's
still
missing.
missing. But she got out, got mad at her mother, and walked off away from the house and disappeared.
Yeah.
But always, just especially if you're working around this case, is always let somebody in your family know where you're going. You know.
Yeah. Sure. I will.
Uh, but
Casey, it's been great
Case, but
talking to you.
Gracie, thank you for coming on. And
Yes.
if we can help you any at all down the road, if you just need to come on one night and say, look, we developed this lead and we need some people to be praying about it, we'll do that
Yeah, I
for
mean,
you
if you
too.
just
I
need
mean, you
prayer,
know
we
what I
can pray
mean?
about it, you know?
We can, I'll be more than glad to give you what information that I've had experience with. I
Okay.
could probably, even if you needed to, make a phone call up to Nashville to I still know. I used to know the guy that was head of TBI. That would have been great,
Yeah.
but he's since retired. He's since retired, but even I could probably talk to one of my buddies somewhere and see if he could make just give me a name if I have to. So,
Okay.
but try your way first, and then worst comes to worst, we'll do what we can. You
I
know.
will. I appreciate that, and I will. I'll stay in contact, and I'll go back and watch the video and read
Yeah.
all the comments
Okay.
and
Yeah,
make
because
notes.
they're saying you are our extended family now. So you're part of the family.
And
Thank
just be careful.
Yes.
And I would just very well be careful not naming names out on the channel, just because you're going to be digging around, and
you.
if you keep your suspects and everything to yourself, unless
Okay.
you pass it to law enforcement, just to
Okay.
keep, you get a lawyer to write some letter cease and desist. You don't want that. You know what I mean? Plus, you don't want to give away your hand either.
True.
Hold your hand close to your chest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Anytime we can
I
help
really
you, let us
appreciate
know. Okay.
it. Thank
Thank
y'all.
you for
All
coming
right.
on.
God bless
Bye.
you, girl.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye. Okay, people.
I feel for her, really do, and I know how disgruntled it can be. Uh, but we will post her, or Wolfman will send you her email. And Gonzo, if you want to, I will send you her
Well,
email
they can
also.
just hit her up on that Facebook page,
Yeah,
Messenger.
missing that might be the easiest way
That would
right
be the
there.
easiest. You just,
Go to the Facebook page and
it's
then
posted on here.
and
And
hit her up on Messenger
and any of our people that are on here, our subscribers, any of you that I know a lot of y'all watch other shows than ours. Hey, ask them to look into Katie Cawthorn. I went on and asked a couple that was doing show and asked them to look
They
into it.
deleted your comment.
No, no, no. I went back and looked. It was still
Okay.
there.
All
No,
right.
it was
Good.
still there. And there was somebody that asked if we would, that they asked them to do one about the American Indian. And I told them, we've done that, but we would do it
We're
again.
not forgot about any of that stuff.
No.
But what I was getting at before she came on with Chris and McDonald is, we want to be about the missing, and I'm sure that uh, I don't know what's going on with that. And I'll be honest with you, I really don't want to get involved in it. It's messy, and Brittany's on here.
Brittany.
Uh, it's very complicated, and I don't know anything about it. So I guess it is like your grandmother always says. I guess everything will come out in the wash. And
I always heard don't trouble trouble till trouble troubles you.
no, yeah, no, you told me that on multiple occasions.
Yes, don't
Don't
trouble.
trouble if trouble troubles you.
Because he's a worrier, y'all. He worries and worries and worries. And I told him, don't trouble trouble till
I
trouble
don't
troubles
worry
you.
near as much as I used to. That's the thing. I used to worry about. I never worried about like
Brittany, we are doing
cases
good
and
and we are
stuff.
enjoying our
John
travels.
West supporting channels all together. Turbo Chris and Mass supporting channels all got together and wow. Well, like I said, I don't know what all happened with that, nor that
And we don't
I
really
don't
need to.
really want to get involved in that. I figure he's I mean, if I had a channel as big as his and something happened like that, I'd cry. But that's about the only thing. I'm sure he's got lawyers and stuff, and I'm sure he'll fight if it turns
Come
out
here.
to be
Come
whatever happened. Our cat, I tell you what, we just got look at that
here.
cat.
He's so needy.
He is so needy.
Come on, baby.
He is
Okay, no kneading. No kneading.
he weighs, I think, about I bet you he weighs 15 pounds. This cat does. He's
Okay.
huge.
So um y'all, Casey's going to go back and read all your comments, and hopefully y'all will help, get the word out for her. And
I
also remember Katie Cawthorn. We don't want to forget her. And
right.
y'all, if you have an extra $5 or $1, go over and donate it. We've donated. And we gave the girl that gave us $100 last week when Katie was Melissa was on for Katie. We donated a whole $100 to her because that was what was given to us.
Yeah, it
Um,
didn't matter if you two take some out. So
no,
what?
it
Uh,
that's fine.
it'll all come back to you. That's all. It'll all come
Pay
back
it
to you.
forward. So if you
Yeah,
can go and
if you
donate,
can, I don't care if it's just 10 to 15 bucks. It'd be really, really
I'd rather you give
great.
it to them than us.
Yeah, we'll make it. But she's got both of Max have got a real good. Um, they're really doing a good thing. I tell you what, Casey there, I really feel for her. I really do. And knowing I don't know, and I've said this before, I don't know what I would do if I had so many of my family missing,
Mm-mm.
and it just like a big black hole. I mean, you can only do so much for a while, and then even if you become very, very proactive, after a while, if it goes cold for that long, it's tough. It is really
Especially
tough.
when you've got a sister and a 2-year-old niece that went missing.
Yeah, that child involved is always something. And we do want to remember this one. The mother, uh, Katie Cawthorn, we talked about last time we were on, from Kentucky. She is still missing. And uh, like we say, somebody knows something. That's it. Um,
And on our community page, Katie's uh, GoFundMe page has been posted. So
and Moses, he up here, he apparently he wanted to be on the broadcast tonight.
he just wants some loving.
He is a big cat.
Beach Bum, thank you for posting that again. And y'all, Katie's, Casey's Facebook page that has the information on it is on there. It's listed on here in the chat. So please go to Casey's Facebook page, put some comments on there, share the page. It would be awesome to get some pressure put on some people who know something.
All righty, we're gonna go. We actually are leaving here in Michigan tonight or tomorrow morning, and we're not really sure where we're going yet. Maybe Minnesota, North Minnesota, or we've got to. Only thing is we need to be back in. We got to be back in near Milwaukee by the end of the month because my daughter and me are going to a concert together. I think we got spoiled animals. Look at that cat. I know you really can't see his face because he's so black.
He's black,
but he's looking. He's looking at me right now. But he's just a mess.
Moses, are you hungry?
He's always hungry.
You want to eat? Ooh, you looking at Batman with me. He looks like Batman.
And to think this cat was a farm feral cat. When he was a kitten, you had to pick him up with welding gloves to keep from getting tore up. And now he's a mess. He's just a big baby. All he does is eat, sleep, and keep mice out of the RV.
Well,
that's it.
His name is missing. He's chipped.
Is he chipped?
He's got a chip.
Okay, he's got the mark of the beast.
Okay, Christina, I'll be looking forward to your email.
All right. So
you guys, thank you for joining us again tonight, and I am so thankful that we were able to get Casey on. I'm shocked that we were able to get her on. I wasn't expecting it, but it turned out awesome. And maybe she's going to, stir up some stuff and find some closure for her and her mother and anybody else with her family that is hurting from this loss.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we love y'all and take care, and we hope to see you back with us on
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
unless we forget and come on Monday.
Unless we don't have internet. It's been crazy out there. Depending on where we're going to be, we'll sure try. And if you would go over and subscribe, if you're not a subscriber on our other channel and you'd like to follow us and around in our crazy life, our RV channel, it's the number 1 million mile road trip. And we are slowly growing over there. This is a little thing that tells in the middle there is you could go directly to our channel, or you can search it out on YouTube.
Hey, and if you're on Instagram, pull us up on Instagram.
Yeah, Dina posts about, I don't know, 100 things a day, but
I don't post
she
that much.
posts a lot anyway.
And we do YouTube shorts with the animals.
We
mostly.
do a lot of YouTube shorts.
You'll get to see a lot on the YouTube shorts because I post the YouTube shorts before he posts exactly where we are.
Yeah, I mean, as you probably will know,
a picture of Andrea and the baby.
Okay. This is actually the picture of when they disappeared.
That's Andrea and
when they disappeared.
That's Andrea and Jennifer. Now, Jennifer's the mom.
When she disappeared.
Do you have it in color?
I have this picture here, and I did not read the
I posted in the comments. I posted several of the pages where I had read the article.
The male picture is Joey Benton. The article said last person to see her alive, supposedly, or to see her. Period. But what I wanted to say was,
thanks, Maui. You love my shorts.
Yeah. But anyway, we do appreciate y'all going over and subscribing. We really do. We really appreciate it. And we hope to see you back on Tuesday.
Yes.
What day is today?
Did you already forget? This is Thursday.
It's Thursday?
No, today's Tuesday.
No, today's Tuesday. You don't even know what day it is.
We don't know.
Okay, Thursday. We will
don't
see
know
you
where
on
we are
Thursday.
either, do we?
I know where I'm at,
Where
but
are you at?
I'm at that place in Michigan. Is all I know, and I don't know the name of it. It's Marquette or something like that. Marquis something.
Marquis, Michigan.
But anyway, we'll figure it out. We're not completely insane. But if you want to watch us and see all the craziness, go over to our other channel.
Well, this is pretty crazy
And
tonight.
we will see you on Thursday.
Bye, y'all.
We love y'all.
We do. Thank you for